Welcome, everybody. So we saw there was 218 people registered for the General Assembly. I cannot count, but it's a little bit less, but I think it's sufficient people to start. So welcome to the 36th General Assembly of Eurodos. So as you can see here, this is the agenda for today. So we will start by checking how many voting members there are, because we will have some elections today. We will, then I will give a chairperson report. There will be a financial report from the financial auditors. We will have a presentation of new voting members. So we have 3 new voting members which will present themselves, and then we have a voting on that. Then there's no coffee break, but a tea break. And because we don't have any elections for council members, we have a little bit of more time. That's why we included 2 small presentations, more general, informative. One on Euromet, the European Metrology Network, actually, and one with giving some news on PIANOFORTE. And then we'll do the standard things like all the presentations from the Young Scientist Awards and grant winners. And we have also a bit changed the reports from the working groups. So they don't have 15 minutes anymore, they have 5 minutes each. So that's... So because we have to finish at 5:30 today. Okay, so I can ask Isabel first. Yes, okay. Then I can start with the chairperson report. So as I said, it's the 36th, even though Eurodos is now 42 years old. Apparently in the beginning was not every year, so that's why it's the 36th General Assembly. I told already, this is the second time we meet in Oxford. The first time was actually Chilton, which is a little bit, it's like 10, 15 kilometers from here, I don't know exactly. That was in 2006, and at that time we had 107 participants. Now you see here the statistics for this meeting. So we have 378 participants in total from 38 countries, and of them 356 are participating on site. You will see tomorrow for the school there's 184. There will be some people following online, so we had the option to follow online also the school. There will be, I think, the maximum capacity of the town hall was 300, but I think we counted some cancellations, so everybody will fit, as I understood, even though it's 302 there. So it will be full house tonight, so that's full town hall tonight. So 42 working groups, joint working groups and subgroups meeting. So as you can see, and you know, everybody who's coming every year, that it's always challenging to find sufficient rooms, but you see why, because we have so many meetings. We also have a record of exhibitors. We have 18 exhibitors and 3 institutes that sponsor material. It's also fun to be all in the same location. Well, at least 50% of the attendees, 170 people, are in St. Cat's. So we have like a common breakfast, everybody in the morning, so that's also nice. And we have this training course, which is, last year we had the first one, now this is a new one, and we have 38 participants who will participate on Friday. So that's also more than we expected and very good. And you see this 374 when we made the statistics, 378 now. So again, it's a new record. So yeah, I don't know where it will end, but we are still increasing. And it gets more and more difficult to get everybody on the picture, but you see it worked. And it will be a challenge to find yourself in the picture. Okay, so some general things. I mean, in the General Assembly, I'll just give some general overview of some statistics, things that were new, things we did the past year. This is the correct, because we are 83 voting members, no? So we are 83 voting members. That's an old, sorry. So we are 83 voting members from 32 countries. They are represented by designated individuals, and they all have a substitute. So as we understood, 63 of these 83 are present today. And we will have 3 new candidates today. Now, in the new constitution that we started in 2021, we included something to define what is an active voting member. I explained this already. So from last year, we started to check whether all voting members are really still active, because we don't want to have as many members as possible. We want to have as many active members as possible. So the last year, we looked and we saw 3 candidates, that's probably why the 80 is there, that were not active, meaning they didn't participate in working groups and they didn't participate for 3 or 4 years or even longer in the annual meeting. So we contacted them and all 3 said, yeah, we know, but we will become more active in the future. So we didn't remove any of them, so they're still members, but we will follow up and we have a new list of people, of institutes that were not responsive for the last years. So we will keep following up. We are increasing a number of voting members, but we try to, let's say, do some quality assurance in the members. So we are governed by the Eurodos Council. You see the names here. So this year, everybody when is elected in the council, it's a term of 3 years. So this year there's no terms that were ended, nobody resigned. So that's why there's no elections this time. But we know already now that next year there will be new elections. So you have 1 year to think about putting yourself as candidate for the council. We also have 8 working groups and 1 pilot group. So they do a lot of work. A lot of the core of the work from Eurodos is done in the working groups. And there, the last year, we had actually this week 1 change. So Marianne Chevalier, she resigned from working group 2, and we elected, the working group elected 1 new chairperson, and it was accepted by the council this week. So Nikki, somewhere, there she is. So she will present now the working group 2 because she's the new chair of working group 2. We, of course, for all the activities of the working group, we need income, we need finances. So Jelka is the new treasurer. Yeah, that's also since last year, I think. Didn't mention it. So she will present the financial overview of Eurodos. And from the 83 members, we ask, I mean, membership is free, but we ask the members to become sponsors. And then you get some benefits as well. And in 24, we are now at 50 sponsors. And that's actually 2 more than last year. So we're still increasing, so that's good. And in principle, everybody can give as much as they want for sponsorship. We hope to give much. It's not increasing so much, but that's fine. So you see here a slide, and every time we try to find some space for putting some new logos in there. So these are all the institutes which make Eurodos possible. And of course, we thank them for that. So what else did we do the last year? So of course there's intercomparisons. Intercomparisons are very important. Eurodos is known all over the world. I saw this morning also in the working group 2 some overview of the participants, and it was some of the intercomparisons. Almost half of the participants are now from outside Europe already, not in all, but so it's increasing, and it's known all over the world. So what was done this year? So there was an intercomparison on passive area dosimeters, which was organized by Working Group 3. There were 24 participants from 17 countries. The extremity dosimeter intercomparison has started, so the dosimeters have to be sent these weeks now. And I think these are the final numbers now. So we have 77 systems participating from 30 countries. So, okay, and multiplied, but I don't know how many, 10, 12, 15 dosimeters. So you can imagine what a huge number of dosimeters have to be processed, have to be collected, have to be irradiated, have to be sent back, all the data coming in. So it's a lot of work. There's another one. I mean, there's several announced for the next years, but there's one also listed here is an intercomparison on spectrodosimetry systems. So that's open for registration, and the registration is open until the end of May. Also organized by Working Group 3. We have training courses. So as I said, this is a new thing. We try to make the annual meeting more interesting. We had input from several people that they wanted also training courses on more basic things. So not only something novel, something new, but also basic things can be very useful for all new people. So that's why we decided to have this training course on Monte Carlo modeling, basic concepts, etc. And as I said, 38 participants are now staying until Friday and will follow this training course. And we have 3 lecturers who will for sure do very well. There's also the training course on radiation protection, dosimetry, and accreditation of individual monitoring services. So this is the series of training courses for all the EMSs. And the next edition will be organized in Krakow from the 3rd to the 7th of June. And at the moment we have 21 participants, and the deadline is not there, so we will reach, I don't know, probably, it's always 30 to 40 people, so we will reach that number probably, so that's good again. There's also another one which will be announced soon, so the registration will open soon, and that's a training course on mesh phantom development and implementation for radiation physics calculations, organized by Working Group 6, and it's funded by PIANOFORTE. So it's in PIANOFORTE, there's some money for training activities, and you can apply with your training course, so also Eurodos with this training course applied, so we get some funding from there, which makes it also much easier and much less expensive for Eurodos to organize this. Visibility, well, you see here we are quite a big organization now. We do a lot of things, so we have links and agreements with different organizations. There's a list there. I just highlight a few things which are ongoing. There's one joint publication in preparation together with ICRU. That's a report on radiation protection dosimetry for external radiation. So it will be an ICRU Eurodos report, so Eurodos will be visible on the report. We are also a liaison organization to ICRP, so we have observer. There's an observer from Eurodos in Committee 2 and in Committee 3. And they really ask us, I mean, they really ask input, and we connect them with the working groups, etc. We have collaboration with IEA. IEA is a member, and of course, but we also get a lot of requests for experts for training courses, for technical committees. So we are considered as an expert in dosimetry, which I think we are. And so this is recognized by IEA. There's an action together with ISO, the Working Group 2 together with ISO is doing an action to make a standard, and we had the survey for that, and this is in progress. And we had training courses organized together with EFOMP. So this is just some examples. There's a lot of projects which are running or almost finished or just started, and you know, since some years, every project should have like stakeholder boards, and often these days they ask Eurodos to be part of the stakeholder board. So every time we look for somebody in the council or even outside the council to be member of the stakeholder boards and then report to Eurodos and give input from the dosimetry side. One thing that I also would like to mention here is that, you know, there's two conferences that Eurodos is kind of like pushing. We take the initiative to make sure that it's organized. And one of these conferences is the International Conference on Individual Monitoring, and the other one was NUDOS. Now, in principle, individual monitoring was every 5 years. I think it started 2005. Now with COVID, things were messed up a bit, and the last one was in 2021. And then it was done together with NUDOS, it was done in Krakow. So it's about time to start thinking about the next one. So also here, Eurodos takes the initiative, and in one of the next newsletters, we will circulate a call for hosts. So, but that's already a message to all of you if you're interested in organizing this international conference, which is, in my opinion, it's very relevant for Eurodos. It's a very good conference. So you can think already about it, and the call will come soon. You know that there are 6 platforms, so we are covering dosimetry, but in Europe there are 6 platforms that form together like the whole radiation protection community. So there's Melody, Euramet, Neges, Alliance, and Share, and together we have formed an umbrella structure. So it's not an official organization, and it's called MENAS, so it's just the first letter from each of the organizations. So it's not an official structure. We don't have a legal status. It's just an MOU between the different platforms. And the spokesperson, so it's not a chairperson, but the spokesperson is now Christoph Huschen from Euramet, and I will be the next one, not because I wanted, or not because, well, there was no election or whatever. It's just every association, every platform in turn will be a spokesperson, and yeah, and we also took the letters, and after Euramet, it's Eurodos for some reason. Okay, MENAS is not too active, although from the Commission side, they are really considered as the contact point. The Commission doesn't always want to talk to us if they have some questions, if they want to discuss, if they want to have input for their calls on radiation protection, like for PIANOFORTE. They would not want to contact 6 different platforms. They want to contact one organization, and then that's MENAS. So in that side, it's important. There's also now a website from MENAS. So this is active since a few months. There's not too much information on it, but this is the start for it. And also MENAS will try to organize from time to time webinars. And the first series of webinars there is presenting a bit the SRAs from the different platforms. So I think this week or next week there will be a newsletter for announcing this first webinar from MENAS. It's not the first, but it's the first on the SRAs. Also, one thing that MENAS does is they organize this European Radiation Protection Week. So this will be this year from the 12th to the 14th of November in Rome, organized by ISS. And Eurodos is involved, of course. It's organized by the 6 platforms. So we have 2 people in the scientific committee who will propose some ideas, things for sessions focused on dosimetry. So we are present there. And it's also possibility, so if some of the working groups want to meet, we will discuss on Friday in the council, but if some of the working group wants to meet on the Monday or the Friday of this event, that's also a possibility. So I'm talking about European business, so then there is PIANOFORTE, so there will be a special short presentation also. These are just some general things, which in principle will not be mentioned later, but so it's a European partnership on radiation protection research. So it's basically the Commission which gives money for co-funding projects on radiation protection research. And so one of the main things that PIANOFORTE is doing is organizing this open research calls. And there will be a second call which will be opened in 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, and there will be some information in the next presentation. So Eurodos is a partner in PIANOFORTE, so we are beneficiaries, so we have some official tasks. So there will be the joint roadmap, which was made in concert, will be updated. So we will be involved in this. Also this priority setting. So the calls have different topics. So Eurodos is always asked to give input on these calls. There are training courses, money for training courses, infrastructure. So we are quite well, I mean, in the executive board, there are 3 Eurodos people who are active there. And this first call, so making this open calls for research projects was finished, and there were 9 top 9 projects selected. So there were 3 topics, 9 projects. In principle, there was not really a dosimetry topic as such. I mean, in the second call, it's more prominent. But even then, there were a lot of Eurodos partners which participated and who are in winning proposals. And the very nice example is Sonora, which is activities from Working Group 9, which were done in Working Group 9, now are bundled in this project, and 12, 9 and 12, sorry. And they are together now in this project, so we get funding for the activities that we would do anyway. There's also, well, it's the EC, which it's good that they give money for radiation protection research, but it's sometimes complicated. You have affiliated entities, you have beneficiaries, you have third parties, and there was a whole mess up. And in principle, all the platforms had decided not to accept affiliated entities because this was in concert. There was a lot of institutes that were affiliated. At that time, it was called linked to Eurodos. And that was, okay, like a common practice with all platforms. For this PIANOFORTE, we decided not to do it because there was more financial risk and it's more work because now the administration has to be done by the beneficiaries. Anyway, I will not go into the technical details there, but in principle, the platforms will not be, like say, the beneficiary, the program owner manager for affiliated entities. But we made one exception because otherwise Sonora would not be possible. So we made one exception because there was some mess up of the whole procedure. But for the next call, I think many of you will try or participate in a certain call and try a project. But even though it's a pity that it's not possible, but from Eurodos we really cannot take the financial responsibility and all the work because we will have to do the administration for Veneto. It's a small project, it will not be too much work, but if we have to add many of these partners, then Kirsten will be not so happy. Okay, so that's the European business. A few more internal things. So there's the newsletter, very active. So the audience is now 761, so that's plus 150 since the annual meeting. So Agnieszka is doing this, and she sends on average 3 newsletters per month. So you see the audience is increasing. So I think that's useful for everybody, and you see because it's increasing, that's also appreciated. We have a YouTube channel, and mainly, okay, this is being recorded now. You will probably, you will not look at it, but the people that are not here are able to look at it. Maybe it's so good that you want to see it again next week. That's fine. So we have 316 subscribers, but there are now 36 videos available, and the most important is the webinars, because you can, most of the webinars, if the speakers give their permission, we just put the whole webinar on the YouTube. And people from all over the world watch it. You know, so you see the number of views there. That's good. We are active on LinkedIn as well. So Liliana is doing this. 1,593 followers I saw yesterday. So that's So that's also good. So we of course dissemination is important. We want to be known everywhere, and we are known. You know, we have also this Young Scientist Conference support. So this is something which is also some years we do this already, but the number of supports, the number of conferences that we want to support is increasing. So basically we can give a sum of up to €500 for somebody who wants to attend and present something in a conference. So people can apply for this. Since last year we also try to push the conference organized to advertise this so that Eurodos is visible. We ask the people that go to this conference and present to really mention that Eurodos is sponsoring. So again, a dissemination action. In the last year, we gave 12 of these grants. You can see the list of the conferences. You can see the list of the people that were selected. And also for 24, there's actually, we added one this week. So there's, I think now 15 possible grants that we can give. I mean, not always for all conferences there is somebody applying, but you see there's several applications now for PTCOG. There's 3 applications, they are under review, and we will select one. And so please follow up this on the website and check when is the deadline and apply for it. I mean, it's €500 and it will probably help you going to this conference. It will help you to convince your bosses, your institutes that you are able to go. You disseminate Eurodos, you disseminate dosimetry, so that's, I think it's a good action. We're also, since 3 years, we have this early career scientist event. So the idea was, okay, we want, of course, from everybody, but also from the early career people, some input on how Eurodos is working. So they basically meet and then they just start drinking, I guess. But they discuss some things what could be improved, and we're looking forward to do the report because it was yesterday evening. I was only disappointed because I heard that they were not able to finish all the beers that were paid in advance. That's disappointing. You did it? Ah, okay. Ah, okay. Okay, so you managed anyway, that's good. But there are some actions, you know, like the agendas of the working group meetings. We really did our best to publish them well in advance for the annual meeting so that people know where to go. So this was a suggestion from them. There's more and more of these early career scientists that can present their work in the working group meetings, and also this practical training. This was something that people asked. Okay, we want to learn. So there's one picture from them yesterday. Okay, so they still look decent here. That's fine. Another thing which is quite successful is the webinars. So we held already 24 since we started in 2021, I think, or 2020. And so since the last annual meeting, we had 4. As I said, you can find the presentations in the YouTube. The announcements will be with the newsletter, and the next one will be end of May. So we are finalizing this. Oh, sorry, wrong direction. You see here the statistics. As normal with webinars, there's always more people registered, but we get like 60, 70, well, let's say 60% of the people that register really attend. It's free of charge. So you see the numbers. You see also the dates. 2020 was the first. And I just made a small exercise. I counted all the numbers of attendees from the different webinars, and I counted them together with the working groups that organized it to have like a ranking of the working groups. So we can start a competition between the working groups. And at the moment, working group 3 is winning. Working group 3, if I counted correctly, yeah, so they are winning, and then the pilot group is last at the moment, so they need to catch up. anyway, it's not important, but reports, we have reports. They are freely downloadable from the website. We have 3 new reports in 2023. There was one on EVIC, one on monitoring and interventional radiology, cardiology, and one from one of the intercomparisons was finalized this year. So they are ready, they are on the website. I understood now also we're trying to make this small information sheets, like for this second one, that can be distributed. So, because not everybody will read the whole report, but like small summaries that can be even better for disseminating what we want to do. We have a website. These are the statistics. Okay, it's fluctuating. Mostly it goes up before the annual meeting, then it goes down a little bit. But it's, so it's several thousands per month, people clicking on the website. So it's an important thing. So we need to keep it updated all the time. What is new? Well, I don't remember when it exactly, I think it started in the last annual meeting, but to help the office, we have somebody else. She's not here, but Maria Zankel is now officially helping the office, all the financial transactions, because it's a lot of work behind the scenes, of course. We have a new tax consultant because the previous one was not responsive and the new one is apparently responsive much better. We started distributing the minutes of the council meeting to the voting members, just again to try to be as open as possible and to try to disseminate whatever we do, because like I said, there's always a long list of things in there were times when the council meeting just was meeting twice per year and relatively short. Now we have 4 or 5 meetings per year. Many of them are webinars, so there's a lot of things that are being discussed. We are working on a new solution for data storage, so we now have a space in the Nextcloud. So some of working groups have already changed to Nextcloud, other working groups will change to go there. The standard operating procedures have been updated. We will have some discussion further on the membership of the working groups, but that's in principle quite clear. So, which brings me already to my summary. So, I mean, some of the points are actually the same lines as last year, but I still think Eurodos is very much alive. You see how many people there are here, how much activities there are. Still the working groups, I really want to acknowledge all the work from the working groups. Everybody is discussing. The working group leaders do a lot of work to keep the working group alive and have so much tasks, so much activities, to find volunteers to do all this. The webinars, intercomparisons, training activities, social media, international visibility. So on all these things we are, in my opinion, still improving. And we have this grants awards, this Young Scientist Conference support, so please use it. We foresee part of the money that you as sponsor give it and some input that we get from some activities. We want to, of course, we want to distribute it again. And one of the things is these support mechanisms. Okay, a picture of all the people from the council, or some people that are already left the council but are still active, like the one on top there. And maybe, I think, maybe many people know already, so we are now in very beautiful Oxford, but next year we will be in the very beautiful Bucharest. We didn't fix the date yet, but the people from Dositrak and Ruxandra, they will organize the next meeting. It will be more cold, probably, but we decided to move back to beginning of the year because then there's just much less overlap with other things. In principle, nobody's crazy enough to organize meetings and conferences in January, February, so that's why we do it. So we will announce the date somewhere in the next weeks, months, but already I think next year we will be visiting Bucharest.
Okay, thank you very much, Philip. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be today in front of all of you. So I will present the company. I work for about 4 years, Dosi Tracker. We are a Romanian private company. We are based in Măgurele. It's a university campus, mainly in the south of Bucharest, in Romania. We are about 15 employees. 3 of them we are approved radiation protection expert. We are physicists, nuclear engineers, and technicians. So we are a small team, but I say with strong heart and we are doing a lot of activities. We supply radiation detection and measurement instruments to various nuclear institutes or nuclear facilities or hospitals in Romania. We also are running a radiation field characterization laboratory, which is approved by the regulatory body, and also an individual dosimetry laboratory, which is not only approved by the regulatory body, but also ISO 17025 accredited. And we offer consultancy for licensing different nuclear activities and training courses in radiation protection and use of radiation detection and measurement instruments. So where we offer all these services, for example, we supply radiation detection and measurement instruments not only in Romania, but also in Europe and in South Africa. We not just supply, we also offer maintenance and support and even, thank you, and even software development. Training courses for individual dosimetry laboratory for groups from 4 to 10 persons, so it's very specific and very individual. And also for workers in controlled and supervised area, and all the courses are approved by our regulatory body. On radiological characterization laboratory, it is also approved by the regulatory body, and our main projects were after the dismantling of the nuclear research reactor in Măgurele, where our office is located. We did the independent radiological characterization of the site so that the dismantling process will end and it will be approved by the regulatory body. And also radiological characterization of non-contaminated sites in Romania. And all these end up with radiological impact assessment for public and for workers. Our personal dosimetry service, we started in 2018. It's the newest dosimetry laboratory in Romania. We use beryllium oxide dosimetry system. And it's, of course, as I mentioned, not only authorized by the regulatory body, but also ISO 17025 accredited. We participated in all EURADOS intercomparisons, so we are very happy to have all these intercomparison exercises every 2 years. This is just a part of us. As I said, we are 15. But we have I think we have a strong team, and we can contribute to the EURADOS activities, and we would be very happy to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see who's next on the list. That's Agnes. Yes. Okay. Okay, please go ahead.
So, thank you. My institution, which is applying for voting membership of EURADOS today, is the AGES, the Austrian Agency for Health and Food Safety. And my name is Valeria Gruber. I'm the head of the National Radon Competence Center within AGES, and I'm an associate member of EURADOS already since 2019, and I would be also the representative in case you will vote for us. Some words about our agency. We are located in 6 cities in Austria, and we are owned by the Republic of Austria, represented by 2 federal ministries. And our legal basis is the Health and Food Safety Act, and we have in total about 1,600 employees. And what we do, we analyze, we monitor, we assess, we do research, and we communicate. It's a communication, of course, with our Austrian population and our Austrian stakeholders, but for research, for knowledge transfer, for knowledge exchange, of course, it's also important to communicate with other institutions and other countries, and this is also one point why we are here. Our overall mission is to assure the health for humans, animals, and plants. And this we do in we cover a quite broad field of topics, and this is organized in 6 divisions within AGES, and including also the radiation protection. So within the division of radiation protections, our tasks are the monitoring of radioactivity, environment, and foodstuffs. We provide resources and know-how for emergency preparedness. We host a reference center for technical quality assurance in the breast cancer screening program. We offer or do expert service in all radiation, more or less all radiation protection fields. We also host the Office of Austrian Board of Radioactive Waste Management. We also do radiochemical analysis, and my field is that we also host the National Radon Competence Center. So within the Radiation Protection Division, we have 4 departments, 3 in Vienna and 1 in Linz in Upper Austria. So we have more radon in this area, so that's why we have the Department of Radon and Radioecology there. And in our department, we have 14 people, and we have split in 2 groups, more or less. The one group is dealing with emergency preparedness and the monitoring of the environment and foodstuffs. I put some pictures here, some impressions from our gamma spectrometry lab, and our sampling was different. Surface water, some in situ gamma spectrometry, air sampling, and so on. And the second group is the National Radon Competence Center of Austria, which I'm the head of. And we are an accredited laboratory, both for gamma spectrometry and also radon. And within the National Radon Competence Center, so this was established 2006 and is coordinating all activity relating radon in Austria. So our tasks are to advise our responsible ministry, mainly with the implementation of the European directive. We monitor and also establish develop the National Radon Action Plan and the Austrian Radon Map. So I have a picture here from our Austrian Radon Map. This was a lot of work. We did about measurements in about 25,000 dwellings in Austria in the last years. We do a lot of information and radon awareness work. We provide training and education, and we are involved also in a lot of research projects, and national, international ones, also including Metro Radon, Trace Radon, and Radon. And we do expert work and cooperation with several national and international bodies. Of course, we do radon measurements. As I mentioned, we are an accredited laboratory, and we are also a certified service from our ministry according to our Radiation Protection Act. And this we are also for dose assessment and dose monitoring, which is also relevant for Eurados. So AGES and Eurados, so what can we provide? How can we contribute? So we plan to follow and actively participate in work and discussions, mainly in work group 3, the environmental dosimetry, and here also focused on, especially on radon. We want to provide and share our knowledge and experience in Austria and learn from others. We want to participate in the relevant exercises and intercomparison. So I was following all the discussions and presentations for work group 3 this week. So I will carry home some ideas of where we can contribute beside radon also. But since 2019, I was active already in the radon subgroup. I did already some presentations and was involved in the discussions. I will want to continue this. And one point is also that we might help or contribute, because we are involved in several research projects and working groups, international working groups, to connect these topics and discussions and work which are done there with the Eurados. So I think this could be an important issue also. So thanks, that's all from my side. I hope for a positive evaluation and voting from your side, and I'm looking forward to continue with the work in Eurados, maybe also as a voting member. Thank you.
Okay, and then last but not least, the Danish Center for Particle Therapy. represented by somebody new in Eurados. Yeah.
Hello everybody, it's a great pleasure to represent Danish Center for Particle Therapy and to apply for becoming a voting member of Eurados. So as you can see on Eurados map, there is a missing dot, blue dot, and I hope we can fit this spot, but that's not only reason why you should vote for us. So DCPT is a part of the Aarhus University Hospital. It's one of the biggest hospitals in Europe, but it's not only big, it's also a good hospital. So in the last 15 years, 14 times we were the best hospital in Denmark, and we are also in the first 20 best hospitals worldwide. So if you're gonna be sick, Denmark and Aarhus is a good place to visit. DCPT, which you can see, okay, there's our pointer. Yes, which you can see here, it's a connection of a clinical part and the research part. We have more than 80 employees which are clinical, so medical physicists, RTTs, doctors, but also our staff which is helping us to deal with administration. And we have also really big and active research group with more than 50 researchers, which are professors, postdocs, PhD students, and we are all working together towards better cancer treatment. We have a cyclotron, 3 gantry rooms, and what is maybe important for research and for Eurados, we have a research room which is available for different ideas, different experiments, and feel free to apply to us, and we are very eager to collaborate. It's a very nice center, Danish design. You can see that there is garden inside, so it's really nice place to work. We are treating more than a few hundred patients per year, and it's maybe not as high number as a conventional radiotherapy, but what is important that most of our patients is treated in the clinical trials. It means that we are trying to compare different methods and find out the best possible treatment for patients also for future. And that's clinical trials are not the only one research activity that we are running. And here I mention most of our activities, and in the red you can see those ones where Eurados can be interested. So we have a group which is working towards flash radiotherapy, both radiobiology and physics. We have a strong radiobiology group. We are working on new dosimeters, on LET optimization in proton radiotherapy. We are developing mini-beam therapy, and as I mentioned, we have a research beam line which is available for international experiments. And for a couple of years we are active in Eurados. I guess you know that I have the pleasure of chairing Working Group 9, but also my colleagues from the CPT are active within Working Group 9. In 2022 we performed an experiment together with Working Group 9. We use different passive detectors to measure LET, and right now we are continuing this experiment and running together Monte Carlo simulations. So we are working towards commissioning of LET painting treatment planning system, and we are also involved in fetal dosimetry in radiotherapy. So vote for us.
Hello everybody, so I'm standing between you and the coffee, and I know this is sometimes a tricky issue. So anyhow, I do my very best to give you an insight in something you are all partner in, because Eurados is partner in the European Metrology Network for Radiation Protection. And you see here some more or less general statements about it. In the moment we are 18 NMI and DI, this is National Metrology Institute or designated institute, and we have 5 partners. And these partners are organizations, and one of these organizations is Eurados. And now I'm here to give something back to you, because we deal with the National Metrology Institute, and we are doing some influencing processes for policy. We work for the member states. We also inform the Commission, we have interaction with stakeholder council, we have special requests and a special strategic research agenda, we are dealing with it. And just to confuse you, this is the central picture for this. And you do not have to read it, but you have to realize that we have many tasks in radiation protection where we do not have money to do it. And that's why I'm here, because the metrology partnership of Euramet, which has a T and not a D, which is the roof organization of metrology, is providing funding. And by the EMN for radiation protection, we can design projects. And we had an open discussion on regulation, and in 2025 we will have a regulation call. A regulation call to address issues in upcoming regulation, in deregulation, or in supporting regulation. This is up to you. So take your time, think about, have a look at the website, or easier, drink a coffee with me. And then we can prepare that our community gets out of this funding for specific research. Because you're probably aware there's much more regulation in Europe available, not only radiation protection. But I think that we should get some share for our support of work. So the EMNRP will have its annual general meeting tomorrow, and we already planned that the steering committee will meet in September and that we will have a workshop for the call 2025. And this will be on 20th November. So if you have a project idea, just let me know, and I will try to support you with the entire team. And this is the team of the EMNRP, and these are the newest recent participants in this network. So I'm sure I kept the 10 minutes. So thank you very much.
We're getting faster and faster. Any questions for Annette, maybe? So I don't know if there are questions, because we have time. So because this is true, this is also one possibility of funding for the things that we do in the working groups that we want to do and that we never find the time because there's no push from funding. But and we can influence the calls, we can influence the text in the calls. No? But the coffee is not ready yet. So. No, okay, but that's good. Then maybe we can go on, give one more presentation. Why not? Because the coffee was ready at 3, I understood, so we have 10 more minutes. Liz, are you? Yes, okay, so we can do the next one as well, and we can stop earlier today. That would be great. So also the next presentation is about one of the partnerships from the European Commission. So not the metrology, but the radiation protection partnership called PIANOFORTE. Please.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks so much, Philippe, and lovely to see everybody. So I'm Liz Ainsbury, I'm the Working Group 10 Chair, and you will hear my Working Group 10 short report in after the coffee break, that's for sure. For now, I am here as a member of the Executive Board of the PIANOFORTE project. Philippe has very nicely introduced the project, so I don't need to say too much by introduction. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview about the calls and some related important information on the project that's good to share with you all. So I suspect, as Philippe said, most people will have at least known somebody who was putting a proposal in, or if not been involved in a proposal for the first open call in 2023. The topics that were part of that are listed here, so developing knowledge base for better understanding of disease pathogenesis, so quite biological, something more on diagnostic and therapeutic procedures and benefit and risk management approaches in scenarios from threats due to war or armed conflict situations. And the really important point here is it's not just the executive board or even just the platforms that made the decision about the topics. The topics come from the strategic research agendas. You can see the different letters and numbers there. And then the whole community, so all of the participants in the project, the platforms indeed, and the stakeholders have the opportunity to contribute to the topics that are selected. So that's how we end up with this list. It was very nice that 24 project proposals were submitted, and we're very pleased to share here, you see this information already on the PIANOFORTE website as well, that there were 9 projects selected. I'm certainly not going to go through the details of any of these in this short time, but you can find most of the information on the PIANOFORTE website. There are links to the projects that have already got their website set up, and the links to all of the projects will be there on the website for you to see. But it's a really nice complementary list of projects there. Do go and have a look. And indeed, as Philippe already said, we have some involvement at least in several of these. So then now we share the final topics through this very long process, which Philippe has a lot of work to do as well, and the team to put forward these topics for the Open Call 2024. So I won't read them out, but I think, as Philippe alluded to, there's sort of a bit more of a direct need for dosimetry across the various different topics here. So do have a look at these, do have a think about putting something forward. The timeline, very important, is here. So the second call publication is published on the 23rd of April in about 2 weeks' time. There will be, as usual, this info day. It will be an online meeting. We are committed to following the green agenda and making sure that we limit the number of face-to-face meetings as far as possible. So it will be an online conference. This is European time, 2 till 3:30 on the 14th of May. Very important. The deadline then is the 23rd of July. And then, as last time, more or less, the publication of the results will be November. We will have to approve everything at the General Assembly, mid-December, say, and then hopefully the projects will have started by around this time next year. So please do have a look at those topics. All of the information is on the PIANOFORTE website, and have a think about putting forward proposals. The more proposals from Eurodos, the better, definitely. Then just a few updates on the communication side. So Marie Davidikova and colleagues lead on this, and indeed Marie very kindly put together these slides for me. So thank you very much for doing that. You made my job very easy today. So there's a lot of really good information on the PIANOFORTE website. It's a very well presented website, very easy to find everything. Lots of information. As I said, the research projects are there. You can sign up to the newsletter, which comes out fairly regularly, more sort of direct information about the project into your inbox. And then also there's a lot of funding available for various education and training activities. So there's some more information there, for example, lots of stuff about the training courses and everything else. Then we wanted to highlight some opportunities. So Eurodos is one of the very important partners in PIANOFORTE, of course, but so you're already involved, as per the previous presentation, but we welcome your additional involvement representing your home institutions. Please do, when the calls come round asking you to help us decide what the topics are, we need your input on that. We would need definitely as many proposals as possible, as I said, on the Open Call 2024, and then the Open Call 2025 next year. Then there's a big focus on, as we have here in Eurodos, in the wider community, supporting our early career colleagues. So there's money available for professional networking activities, for training, travel grants, for organising courses as well. And then you can also make use of the website, make use of the newsletter as well. So please do put forward information to be shared as you see appropriate. It reaches a lot of people. Then just to highlight very quickly, because it is almost coffee time now, one of the things that we were asked to do by the Commission was to consider use of artificial intelligence in radiation protection. This is a big topic in many fields these days, a lot of people working on this. There's going to be a workshop organised at NCSR, I can never say it, Demokritos Lab in Greece. They put on a very good conference there, a very good meeting, so do consider going there. And the aims are listed here, sort of think about the relevance and applicability and look about how we can widen our work with people who aren't necessarily yet within the community but have that expertise in artificial intelligence. And then really what we would like to do is get some AI projects into the third call. We will see how we go on that. Registration is closed. We have been told it is not possible to register, but I think if you really wanted to go, you could probably find a way to be there, so I should say that. I don't know whether I'll get in trouble or not, I don't know, but anyway, it'll be a worthwhile activity, and look for the report as well. And then just very briefly, so my role in Pianoforte is as one of the leads on Work Package 5, which is focused on infrastructures. So again, I won't read out all of this, but just to show this as an example, because this is our part, that we are committed to these integration activities, including working on infrastructures to make sure that we know what the infrastructures are, we're supporting them as far as we can, we make sure that people have access to them, that we're working together on harmonisation of quality, we're looking at sort of interoperability, as well as the idea that all of the work that we do under Pianoforte, and indeed in radiation protection sort of within the whole community, is done in a fair way, so that the data and all of the activities and outputs are findable, accessible, interoperable and reusable. And then we also work with some of the other funded projects as well, including OFFA, which is this kind of nuclear people. So that's it. Thank you again, Marie, for producing the slides, and Philip for your input, and all of you colleagues. Yeah, do keep in touch, follow the project, put forward your proposals, and we will make Pianoforte a success together. Thank you.